another episode of the Cozy Cottage Crochet Podcast. My name is Hannah, and this is a podcast all about crochet, sometimes sewing and knitting, and generally living the yarniest life possible in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live. How are you? If you are a returning viewer, hello, I'm so glad you came back. It is August already. I don't know how that happened, but basically it is the hottest month of the year, and if you are still crocheting and still knitting, I applaud you, because in my last episode I talked about the air conditioning that we have in Florida, and last night our air conditioner broke. So I got to experience what it was like to have a house that was 90 degrees because we did not have air conditioning. It got fixed, it's fine. The system's like 20 years old, so it's probably gonna die soon anyways, but we got it fixed, so we were able to go to sleep. But I definitely did not want to crochet at all last night because it was quite warm in the house. So if you live in a climate where you have no air conditioning, I don't know how you live, first of all. And second of all, bless you, bless you. So if you are a new viewer, thanks for stopping by. I'm so glad you're here. If you're looking for me on the interwebs, the best place to find me is on Instagram or Facebook. I am the Cozy Cottage Crochet, and on Ravelry, I am just the Cozy Cottage. There is a link to our Ravelry group down below in the drop down, so if you'd like to join it, that's where we have all of our crochet alongs. We have a finished objects thread, etc., etc. And also, that is where information will be about our meetup. We are going to have a meetup in St. Petersburg on Saturday, August 18th. Is it 18th or 19th? Oh gosh, I should have written this down. I apologize. It's on the Saturday. It's either the 18th or the 19th. We are going to meet in St. Pete at noon, and then we're going to meet at a coffee shop and then hang out for a little while together, and then take a few vehicles hopefully over to the yarn store, which is Stash, a place for yarn. They don't have a ton of parking there, so that's why I wanted to meet up somewhere else. I will put all of the details for this in our Ravelry group, because I'm not going to say exactly where the address is that we're going to meet just on the internet for everyone to see in the world. So if you want to come to this meetup, if you live in Tampa, St. Pete, Sarasota, Bradenton, Newport Richey, Clearwater, somewhere around there, and you can get there within an hour or two, and you would like to come, first of all, that would be so exciting. But second of all, I will put the address and the time that we are meeting in the Ravelry group in a separate thread that will be up today by the time this goes live. So this podcast episode is a little bit late. Normally I have my episodes uploading Saturday morning. That's what I've been doing because I record them on Friday, but today is Saturday because I have been gone all week. And so yesterday I was home, but I slept most of the day. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks, and I will tell you all about that at the end of the podcast. But first, let's talk yarn, shall we? Oh, and if you need to get a hold of me for any reason, please, please, please shoot me an email. I am a little behind on my emails right now, but I have them all and I will respond to you. It is thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com. If you send me a Ravelry message, an Instagram message, or something like that, or a Facebook message, not only will I probably not be able to get back to you in a timely manner, sometimes the messages just disappear. Like on Ravelry, I accidentally deleted somebody's message. And then after a lot of Googling and trying to recover it, I realized that there is no way to recover deleted messages in Ravelry. There is no trash folder, it's just gone. So if I haven't responded to you, I'm so sorry, but please, please shoot me an email. Okay, enough of that, right? Let's talk yarn, because I have some things to share with you, and I have a lot of life stuff to share with you. I'm going to push all of that to the end, and let's talk finished objects first, because I have not one, but two, which is kind of insane considering how crazy these couple of weeks have been. The first finished objects that I have is a Sockhead hat, which is a free pattern by Kelly McClure. This is a knit hat, and I made this out of MoonTower Dye Works in the colorway Baylor Street Graffiti. I weighed it. I have about 35 grams left. This is an 80-10-10, so it's superwash merino, cashmere, and nylon. I love this yarn so much. I love, love, love it. Last time you saw this hat, I think I was about here, but it's done. It looks like a giant water balloon. So we have the ribbing, And then we have this whole hat, and it has decreases at the top, and then you kind of sew it up. I didn't put a pom-pom on it because it's a slouchy hat, but basically it's super slouchy, but I really like it. So this is what it looks like from the front. I actually may even like this better than the hat I just finished a few weeks ago, made out of that pink yarn. And I don't know, like maybe I don't know why I like it more, but looking at it in the mirror, like right now, the camera, there's no mirror here. I just feel like I really, really like it and I want to wear it, but it's pretty hot. So this is not going to last the whole podcast. But let me give you a side view and you can see how slouchy it is. Look at all this extra material. This is the view from the back. As I said last time, there was a part right about here where I absolutely hated this project because it was just endless ribbing for days, I felt like. And the only thing that kept me going was this yarn. Oh, it's just my favorite indie dyer. And then I just kept going, and it's like got kind of some striping going on, but it's not all the way around. And I just love it. Like this part is a little whiter because that's just how it's dyed. It's an indie dyed skein. And then like this part has more black, more green, and it kind of changes, but it all looks super, super great together. So I cannot wait to wear this. I am gonna be doing some traveling in October to a cold place, and this is 100% coming with me. The only thing I'm concerned about is that I'm gonna take it out of the country with me and I'm gonna lose it. And then I'm not gonna be able to get this again because it's like a hand-dyed skein of yarn. So I don't know. Anyways, I highly recommend the pattern because it's really easy. It's a free pattern. You just do 4 inches of 2x2 knit and purl ribbing, and then 9 inches of straight stockinette in the round, which stockinette, if you don't know, it's just knit stitches. You're just going around and around and around and around until you feel like you will never ever reach the end. At one point, I was only like 5 inches in and I got really concerned that I was gonna run out of yarn. No. Obviously, this is not the case. I have 35 grams left. That's quite a bit. So I'm really happy with this and I want to wear it. Let's see how long it'll last with me wearing it like this. So that's finished object number 1. I finished that, I think, like a day or 2 after I recorded the last podcast, so it's been finished for 2 weeks. I have not washed it or blocked it or anything. It's really soft and I kind of don't really feel like I need to at all. Like, I think it's fine without washing or blocking. But I have another finished object. And this one I showed last time as well, and it is the rabbit hole cardigan. Yes, finished, by Carmen Jorison, which also is a free pattern on her blog. So it's a granny stripe cardigan and it is completely done. So not only did I weave in all of the ends, total in this whole cardigan there were about 200 ends, which is a little bit insane. However, after this has been washed and blocked and all the ends have woven in, and then 2 more ends appeared and now I can't find them. Basically, I missed two gray ends and I don't even know where they went. I know for a fact that I did not weave them in because this has been shoved in a bag basically. So I don't know, they're in here somewhere. They'll appear in the future. I have blocked this and washed it. I am going to re-block it, I think just right here, because I just need like a tiny bit more room in the armhole. It's like a little bit uncomfortably tight. Let me show you what it looks like. So it is not made to close in the front. So if I scoot back and stand up, you can see that it comes right to my hip. This is where my hip bone is, which I am okay with that length. And then there's a lot of space right here. So it's not supposed to close in the front, and I don't want to add a button band. I like it how it is. The sleeve, oh, there they are. Here's the ends. I don't know. That must have been where I ran out in the middle of the row or something. So the sleeves come out to like right here. I didn't want it to be long sleeves because there's no decreases or anything, and I didn't want to really mess around with that. But I would like it to just be like like an inch longer in the armhole because I feel a little constricted at the moment. So the pattern calls for you to make this piece first, which is like, it goes like this and then all the way down the front. And then once you've reached the width of your shoulders, you start going down the back in these rows. And then you seam up the side. So right here where this pink is, you can see my side seam. And then I knew it wasn't gonna be long enough. So I then added another 8 or 10 rows right here of stripes in the same pattern. So on the back, it looks like the stripes are uninterrupted. But on the front, you've got this part that goes down and then you have the stripes on the front. Okay, that's about as far as I can make it. I'm sorry if I have crazy hair now. It is hot, y'all. I cannot be wearing a wool hat. I tried, I love it, I can't wear it. I'm so sorry. So yeah, so this is the back and this is what the front looks like down at the bottom. This is a super simple pattern. It would be really, really, really easy if you made it in one color. But because of all of the color changes, that is why we had a problem with all of the ends. So it's really cute. I'm gonna be perfectly honest and say, I do not know how much wear this is going to get. I really like it as a finished object. Like, I love the colors, I think it looks great. However, I don't really know if it's my style. This is pretty much my style. T-shirt, t-shirt, jeans, maybe some like exercise pants or leggings or something like that. So I don't know that I have a ton of things that are gonna go with this. Like, it would have to be really neutral. So we'll see, I will report back. This yarn was a lovely gift from a podcast viewer who was not going to use it. Her name is Andrea. And it is the Stylecraft Batik Elements. And so there were 4 balls of this color, which is iron, and then there was 1 ball of each of these colors. Well, you can't really see, can you? Kind of the glare. So this is a pink, a light pink, mustard, purple, gray, and a bright kind of, I don't know, corally pink. So this is how much I had left of each of those individual balls. This dark pink is the one that I had the least amount of. It's got maybe just a couple grams left. And then I had 2 full balls of this, so there's 100 grams, and a little bit, maybe 20 grams left in this ball. So what I am going to do, because I have made a full, complete, finished object out of this, is I'm going to have this as a giveaway. So you will get 200 grams of the iron color plus whatever this is, and then all of these little pieces. So if you're making granny squares with like different colored centers or pot holders or anything out of this, because it's 100% acrylic, you could totally make it, and you'll have plenty of yarn to make some cute little projects with this, even like baby hats or things like that. And this is, actually it's not 100% acrylic, it is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. So what I'm going to do is, in the Ravelry group, there will be a thread with a prompt specifically for this, and I will draw a winner by the next episode. So you will get all of this together and I will mail it to you. You can enter if you're from somewhere else in the world. I'll mail it to you as long as you can receive packages from the United States. But if you're in America, this would actually be pretty cool because we don't get a ton of Stylecraft yarn over here. You have to order it online. I don't know of any stores that actually carry it. So if you would like to try it and you've never tried it before, go to the Ravelry group and comment on that thread, and I will draw a winner by next time. And we'll have a giveaway so that you can experience this yarn. I will say this yarn was a little scratchy when I was working with it, but now that it's been washed and I steam blocked this, it's much softer. It's still a little prickly to me, but I am very sensitive to wool. So I think if you have any kind of reasonable tolerance, you will be absolutely fine, especially after it's washed. And I am fine with this because the neckline is so open, it doesn't have any kind of collar, that it's fine. Like right here is where my shirt ends, so it's fine. So let's see how long I can wear this before it gets taken off. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure, like, I am not fishing for a compliment, okay? I'm just saying, I don't know if I like it. I just don't know if it's my style. I don't know. I can't remember if I mentioned this already. I know I have on a previous podcast. This is Mango Sparkling Water by Bubbly. Oh, it's so good. I love it. No, I can't do it. I don't even know why I'm bothering to try to wear anything made out of yarn right now. It is so warm outside. So I'm going to put this right there in the background so we can look at it over my shoulder. I do have some works in progress. Not a ton. I have spent a good portion of these 2 weeks crocheting and ripping out the same 5 rows like 5 times. So, and they're still not, I'm just gonna have to rip them out again because it's still not working. And also I was traveling this week from Tuesday till Friday, and I did 0 crochet while I was gone. I took 3 projects, you know, as you do, because of course I'm gonna have all this time. No, I had 0 time. So, but I did work on a few things before I left, so let me show you that. I have made a tiny bit of project on a shawl, which I am working on a shawl from the Shawl Project book number 3, which is the Wisteria Trellis Shawl by Joanne's Grace. I am making it out of this beautiful green yarn, which is coming undone because it's been abused and shoved in a in a carry-on suitcase. This is how much I had done last time, because you work the border first, and I have done, from this stitch marker, I have done maybe 4 or 5 repeats. So I have made a tiny amount of progress. I don't even know if this is really worth showing, but I thought, hey, I have actually been working on something, so I should prove that I've been crocheting. So I've done about 5 repeats. I have about 30, maybe 27 to go, so quite a long period of time still, but we'll see. I am going to take this on a trip. Hopefully I will take this on a trip with me that I'm taking this week, which I will talk about later. There's just July and August, you guys, are absolutely insane. Insane in my life. I am behind on everything. I am not just like podcast but like work. I'm so behind on work, and oh man, it's like trying to keep plates spinning in the air, but the end is near. I am going on vacation this upcoming week. In just a few days, I will be off of work for 5 days, and I will be in Vegas, which I'll talk about that in a minute as well, because I'm really, really excited. I have made a tiny bit of progress. Well, not a tiny bit, like a whole foot worth of progress on my sock, because this is so small that it actually did get a little bit of love when I just had a few minutes here and there, because I could just do 1 round. So I am using this Knit Picks Felice yarn in the colorway Sonora Sunset. Now, as you know, I already have 1 sock done. Finished this one like a month ago, maybe. And then this is where I am on the second sock. So this is where I was last time. I had just the toe done in like a stripe. So I'm actually all the way up here, halfway through the increases for the heel. So I have to keep doing the increases and then turn the heel. I don't know when that's gonna happen because the heel always slows me down. A lovely, lovely person who watches this podcast sent me a pattern gift on Ravelry that was the Fish Lips Kiss heel pattern. I have not tried that out yet. You have to like measure your foot and stuff, and I just haven't had any time to do that. But I am planning on trying that maybe for the next pair of socks or the pair after that, once I can like trace my foot and figure out exactly where the heel needs to be, because I just feel like that would be easier than doing the heel flap and gusset. But I know that this heel fits really well, so I'll have to try them both and see. But I just love the stripes. The stripes are so fun. We'll see how far I get next time. Those are the only 2 works in progress, except for some designs. So I'm gonna have a different segment this podcast episode called Designs in Progress, because I have 2, not 1, but 2. And for those of you who are interested, I actually have sent off my chevron shawl that I showed last time and 2 times ago. It was 2 times ago, on the episode titled Frog Island. I sent that pattern off for testing. So all of my testers have started on that pattern. I am very excited. They have until the middle of August to get it back to me with their notes, and then I will have it for tech editing. And then the pattern will be available at the end of August. So I'm really excited about that. That was actually what I did 2 weeks ago on Saturday. After I uploaded the podcast episode, I went to Starbucks and I spent 5 hours writing up the pattern and making sure everything flowed, and I spent like 2 hours trying to figure out the math, and I actually had to crochet a new swatch because it just was not adding up. It turns out that I had made notes of like every row throughout the pattern, but on one of those I added the numbers incorrectly. I put 16 and 16 equals 36. No, it equals 32, and I spent 2 hours crocheting and writing and swatching and like rewriting and ripping it out and being like, this does not make sense. Like, how did I possibly get 36? It's just because I can't add, okay? So anyways, that's fixed. Hopefully the math is fine, but this is why you get your patterns tested. But I'm working on 2 new designs. They are both shawls. I feel like I'm really obsessed with shawls at the moment. I will show you the one that I have made progress on first, and then I will show you the one that has been frogged 5 times. So this is living in a Star Wars bag that I sewed myself, and it has a button on it that says never tell me the odds, because we went and saw Solo on opening night and we got button swag. So, I mean, perfect. It's right next to his face. So I am making this out of this most beautiful yarn that I have been saving specifically for a pattern design. It is the 2 skeins of MoonTower Dyeworks yarn that I bought when she opened her Etsy shop last year. I knew immediately that they were going to be a design and they were going to be together, and so I snagged 2 skeins. One of them is called Cats of Saturn. This is just like, I love this so much. And the other one is called Desperados Tagging a Train. So it's a little hard to see how it's gonna work up because it's in a cake now. In the skein, it was just beautiful, and this is what they look like together. So I had a shape in mind for this shawl for several months now, and I just couldn't quite work out how to do it, but I finally figured it out, and so I started crocheting. And it's kind of rumply because it's been shoved in my suitcase, but this is the start of it. So it is going to be, let's see, it's going to be this way. So this is block 1. This is Cats of Saturn. This is Desperados Tagging a Train, and this is the start of another Cats of Saturn block. So this entire shawl it's going to be a semicircle, and it's going to have these wedges. So it'll start out here. I don't have enough hands. It'll start right here, and every one is going to come out like this, and then it's going to go back in and come out again. So it's going to be like feathers almost. Oh, I'm so excited. So this hasn't gotten that much love because I have been traveling. I took this with me because I thought that it would be easy to work on because it is very simple once you get the hang of it. But I did not have any time at all to work on this. So I got maybe 3 rows done. So this has all been done like last weekend. This was done. So it's a little small right now. I'm going to make a 2 skein version with these colors, and then I'm going to make a larger version, maybe with some worsted weight or something like that. Now this is going to block out. It's going to stretch more, but as it stands right now, it's going to be about this wide. So it'll be from there to there, which I think is a good sized circular shawl. I would prefer it to be a little bit bigger, but I have done some swatching and weighing. So I did one of these blocks and then I weighed it and I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna have enough because it was like 30 grams and I needed it to be under 20 because I'm gonna have 5 of each of these wedges. So this is a close-up of how it's working up, and I am really excited. This shawl already has a name. She had a name before she had a shape. Before I knew anything about her, I knew that this shawl was going to be named Bellatrix. and I think she is very Halloween-y, or she could be very Halloween-y. You could do it in any yarn, like you could do it in 2 solid colors, so you have like a pinwheel effect, but I really like it in a speckled yarn because this entire shawl shaping is done with short rows. So if you've never done short rows, they're not hard, okay? Especially in crochet, they're not hard. But this would be a good shawl for you to learn how to do it. And the speckled yarns where you join in the short rows, let's see if I can find, like right here. It's kind of hard to see, but like right here there's a little bump, and then like right here there's a little bump, and right here there's a little bump. You can hardly tell because the yarn is variegated. But if that was a solid color, you would be able to see more clearly the texture where you join in the short row and keep working on the main thing. So this is how much I have so far. It looks kind of like a little bat wing, but let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna be putting some love into this hopefully in the coming weeks, and I would like to have it out by Halloween, but I don't know. The way life has been going recently, it's unlikely. But you know, maybe I'll be optimistic. And I have this cute stitch marker from Stitching Fairy Crafts on Etsy. I highly recommend you look up her stitch markers. They're so cute. So this is design number 1. Back in its hole. Back in its home until it's pulled out again. Maybe I'll work on that today. I need a break from this other one I'm about to show you. I have some very exciting news for this design. There is an indie dyer named Leah, and she owns a company called Sheep Happens Yarn, which I will put a link to down in the down bar. You should go check out her shop. She contacted me and wanted to dye up some custom yarn for me to design with. And I will tell you, when I got that email, I about lost my mind. I was so excited because that is like makes me feel really legit, you guys. That someone wants to dye yarn and send it to me so that I can create something with it. So I actually picked out these colors myself, and she dyed them up. And they are a little bit out of my normal color palette. So my color palette is like blue, gray, pink. Those are my 3 colors pretty much. As you can see, blue. However, I really wanted something autonomous. How do you, I shouldn't use words if I can't pronounce them. Autumn-like, let's go with that because I can't say the other word. So she dyed up these 2 colors for me and sent me 3 skeins of each for me to design with. And I just need to show you these because I caked up 2 of each and I left 2 in the skeins so that I could show you them in their glory. This is her label. Sheep Happens. It's merino DK, so this is 100% DK weight, superwash merino. And you get 250 yards for 115 grams. This is the green. Let me get rid of this. I'm gonna put my hand right here so it's not blowing out the camera. That's showing up pretty true to color. Like, oh, it's such a tonal, deep forest green. It is exactly what I wanted. And this is an orange, which is also showing up, like it is that bright in real life. And I wanted it to be that bright because this to me represents summer and this represents autumn. And when I put them together, the orange is blowing out a little bit. So it's a little bit lighter than this. But I have a shape in mind for this shawl and I cannot get it to work. So I'm going to keep trying because when I was holding the yarn and thinking about it and playing with it, the shape popped into my head first. And I know how it's going to look at the end. I just cannot get it to look like that right now. I'm having increased problems. Like I increased too much in one of them and then I didn't increase enough in the second one. And then I increased the appropriate amount in the third version. However, I didn't space them out. I didn't think about spacing them. So then it turned into a half a hexagon, which I did not want. I want it to be a semicircle. but not a semicircle that starts from here and goes down. It's gonna start in the middle of the semicircle. So I'm messing around with it, and all I have to show you right now, which is going to be frogged, is this snake that has been frogged, well, 4 or 5 times. So I don't know why I tried to work on this last night, because I was so tired and the air conditioner was not working. So I'm gonna have to rip this out because I know for a fact my math is wrong because my brain was not working. So this is the yarn in a cake. All of this right here, it just keeps getting frogged and wound back into the ball, and it's as good as new. So she gave me information on all of her bases and said, which one would you like? And I said, I would really like to design something with DK yarn because for fall, it'll be so plump and squishy, and I love it. And this is it's such a plump and squishy base, and I would have thought it would be very fuzzy by now for the times that I have frogged it, because remember, this is merino, and it's fine. It hasn't split at all. It's not fuzzed up. It is as good as new, and I am really, really happy with this yarn. So working with the yarn has been a pleasure. I am not happy with the shape of the shawl yet. So I don't really have anything to show you other than the cakes. So these are the 2 cakes. These colorways don't have names because they're custom, but whenever I can finally get this pattern in my head correctly, like once I can get past row 5, then it'll work. But so far, up to row 5 has not worked. So if you can't have your foundation, none of it's gonna work, right? So once I get past row 5, it'll start flying. I would like to have a 2 skein and a 3 skein version of this shawl. I don't know if that will be possible or not. I've been starting on the 2 skein version because it's less to rip out. Because I did a bunch of swatches for this, but sometimes, you just have to make it. You just have to make the thing. So I'm not saying that you should go check out her shop because she sent me free yarn to design with. I am saying this yarn is awesome. I have worked with this yarn for a week now, crocheting it and pulling it out and crocheting it and pulling it out again and again. And I am really happy with it. It is incredibly soft. It doesn't make me itch at all, which is a bonus. And I love the color. So she has different colors. This color is not in her shop, and neither is the orange because the pattern is not ready. But once the pattern is ready, there will be some kits available in her shop for you guys to buy if you want to make the exact same shawl. And I do not have a name for this one yet either, but I'll have to think about it. And I wanted to show you, she sends you this little card with any yarn order as well, and basically it has notes about the yarn, it has care instructions, it has how to make sure that your yarn is color fast, and customer service and everything. So this comes, and then she sent me the yarn wrapped in a pretty little bow, and I about lost my mind when it came in the mail. I was so excited. So that is design number 2 in progress. That's like super, super, super exciting, and it's living in this bag, but it just doesn't it's not working yet. So I'll keep trying. Hopefully next time I'll have something to show you. If I could just, maybe I need to like have a coffee and just sit at Starbucks for like 2 hours. Maybe I can do that tomorrow and just think and really think about the math. So because I have this shape and I need it to stay that shape. I don't want it to like get too big or be, you guys. Designing is like really hard work, and I like it. However, I'm not the best at math. And it's not that I can't do math. I will say that algebra in college was the only class I got a D in in college. Now, part of that was I really did not understand what he was saying, and the professor would not give us a test on anything that he covered. Like nothing that he covered showed up on the test. So I retook it and I was fine. But math makes me miserable, like literally miserable. It's not that I cannot do math. I'm a firm believer that anything you put your mind to and you work hard enough at, you can do. Like you can achieve. Like I can achieve math. However, I don't like it. And I know you're like, well, if you just change your attitude. No, I've never liked it. I probably never will. I don't like, to me, math is like tedious, in an endless stream of tedium. So hell for me would be an endless stream of tedious, meaningless, menial tasks, like small administrative stuff that doesn't matter, like replying to emails for the rest of my life, but not important emails, just like unimportant things that people should be able to figure out on their own. And please don't take that as I don't want to respond to your email. I'm just saying if I had to spend every day, all day, responding to emails, I would pull my hair out. Because I like to do this, not this. So the math is a problem. In school, when you're growing up, they're like, yeah, you're going to use this when you're an adult. And you're always like, no, nobody uses word problems and nobody cares about math. Apparently, that is not true because now I am using math for crochet designing. So this is another reason why you need a tech editor to add your numbers up and make sure they work. Now, so far, fingers crossed, in the last 2 patterns that I have released, by the time it got to the tech editor, I did not have any math problems in my patterns. We'll see. There's bound to be one eventually, right? Well, as I just said, the chevron, which has a name now, it's the Sanibel chevron shawl, that one took me 2 hours because I could not add. So, that's just part of the design process. I want to talk about one thing before I jump into what's been going on the last couple of weeks, specifically related to design, because I want to show you this book. This is a book I purchased from Joann's with a 60% off coupon. I know. So it was like $8 or something. It is 500 crochet stitches, the ultimate crochet stitch Bible. I love this book. I use it all the time. Whenever I start to think about designing, I just go and look at all the stitch patterns and just think about them. It's got stuff, basically, I'll just show you one page. So it'll have 3 different stitch patterns and how to do them and a chart at the bottom. It has, if you can see right here, the blue is crochet stitches. The orange in the middle is motifs, and the purple at the end is crochet borders. I pretty much only use the blue section. I mean, it does have a how to crochet and a how to read charts as well. It has a complete chart guide, but this is the section I mostly hang out in, all of these crochet stitches. So I have a request for you guys, my podcast audience, because this is such a valuable resource. First of all, I recommend it. If you don't have this book and you are interested in crochet stitches or learning how to read a chart, etc., this is a really valuable resource. But second of all, I know that lots of you have crochet stitch dictionaries of various kinds, and I want to ask you, if you have one that has been collecting dust and you haven't looked at in ages and ages and ages and you're not going to use it, if you would mind sending it to me, because I promise that I will use it for crochet design. Now, a couple of caveats. One, I am not asking for you to send me anything that you use on a regular basis. Please don't send me something that is dear to your heart and that you will miss. What I'm talking about is crochet stitch dictionaries that have been sitting in your shelf for years. They have dust on them. Sometimes you look at them, but they haven't been off the shelf in ages and you're not going to use them. And I'd be happy if you send me an email. I'd be happy to pay for the postage if you want to send it to me. I can PayPal you for the postage for a book. A book in the United States for media mail, I think is $3 to send a book, as long as you're only sending a book. If you send other stuff, then of course you can't use media mail, so it would be more expensive. But I'm happy to pay you for the shipping for an unloved book, an unloved crochet stitch dictionary, if you have one and would be willing to part with it, because I really, really do use it. And as I design more, I would like to use more, but I know I can go to Joann's and get some crochet stitch dictionaries, or I could go on Amazon. But what I love is I know some of you have really old ones, or ones that maybe are out of print or that I would not have access to. So I am going to go buy some more in the future, but you guys are such a fantastic resource. So I hope it doesn't bother anyone that I'm asking for something on the podcast. Hopefully that's okay with you. All I am asking for is something, if you're not using it, if you wouldn't mind sending it to me and you have one to spare, I happily pay you for the postage. You can shoot me an email at thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com, and I promise you, I will put it to use in my design work. This particular, the short row shawl that I just showed you, I did not use this particular book, but I have a book called Crocheters Skill Building Workshop. And that is the book I have used to help me with the shape of the semicircle with the short rows. So I pulled out that book, I was flipping through the pages, it had exactly what I needed at the time. So to me, and maybe you feel differently about this, but to me, if someone else has already done something and like explained it in a way that I can process and understand, for me to think about it and come up with it from zero is a waste of time because there's nothing new under the sun. Now, I am not in any way saying that you should plagiarize or steal people's work, but if you have a basic technique such as how to do a short row, and I am trying to wrap my mind around the math for it, and someone else has already explained it in a way that I can understand, it's so much more efficient for me to read what they've written. So, I don't know. I feel like that was kind of a weird, rambly little segment. But basically, if you have one, let me know. If you wouldn't mind, shoot me an email, thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com, and I will tell you if your stitch patterns make it into a new design. And I also just recommend this book. I bought it, I love it, I use it all the time. It sits on my nightstand or like my little coffee table right next to the couch for easy access. You guys, it's really warm in here. Let's talk life update because so much has been going on. Last week was pretty normal. It was like work, fine. There was vacation Bible school at my church, which I helped out with every day, which kind of made the week crazy because that was from like 8 in the morning till 12:30 in the afternoon. So my normal work schedule was a little messed up, which it's completely fine. I got to hold the little babies. But let me tell you what I picked up from those babies. A cold. 1 week of hanging out with children, I got sick. My immune system is terrible. You can probably still hear it a little bit in my voice. It's like scratchy, as I have only been over it for maybe a day or two. So Vacation Bible School ended Friday. The next day, I had a cold. So that was fun. Then I spent Sunday, I was not happy. Monday, I wasn't really very happy because of this said cold, and I had to run around and get prepared because Tuesday we were leaving, me and all of my coworkers, to go to a conference in Alabama. And I was at the airport at 7 a.m., maybe 6:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So we flew to Alabama. We had the conference. I had a cold the whole time. The conference was amazing. It was just wonderful. But then on Thursday night, we were flying home, and we were supposed to be home at like 11 p.m. Thursday night. Our flight got delayed because of weather and it was coming from Orlando to Alabama and then back to Tampa. So the flight from Orlando to Alabama got delayed. So we were delayed. We flew out of the Birmingham airport, Birmingham, Alabama. I don't know if you've been to that airport. It's so small and everything closes at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. So we were hanging out at the airport, and we kept hanging out because the flight got delayed by several hours. So I made it home around 2 a.m. on Thursday night, and that's on top of not getting very much sleep Tuesday or Wednesday because of the conference and being in a hotel and blah, blah, blah. Stayed up too late, got up too early, etc. The Birmingham airport, first of all, smells kind of weird, and I don't know why. It almost had like a musty smell, like it leaked in there and then it grew mold or something. So it's very small. Everything was closed, and I mean everything. So you couldn't buy any snacks or anything like that. And we made it. We did finally make it. And I'm so glad that I left my car at the Tampa airport on Tuesday instead of driving with someone else, because all I had to do is get in my car and just drive straight home. I didn't have to go to someone's house and get my car and then drive home. So I got to bed at around 2:30 on Thursday night, and then I had to get up 7:30, I think, to go do some work. And then basically when I got home on Friday, I slept for 3 hours. Like, I just crawled into bed and I could not move. And then I woke up, and of course the air wasn't working. I had grand delusions of recording a podcast yesterday. No, not my voice was, I mean, it's still not 100%, but it definitely wasn't 100% yesterday. I sounded like a frog, and I was so tired. Like, I feel like I look pretty tired right now, but yesterday it was like, like I looked kind of like a zombie. So I slept instead and kind of relaxed. And then of course the air broke, so we had to get that fixed. Thankfully, it got up to like 93 degrees in 93? No, 83. 83 degrees in the house. And then it started to cool back down. So I don't know how people deal with it if it's 90 in your house. I don't know how you handle. I could not crochet. I didn't crochet at all during the conference. I did a little bit on the way up on the plane, but we were literally like every second of each day was planned out for conference activities, and I took too many notes to be able to crochet while the people were talking. I took like 20 pages of notes, which I know is a little ridiculous, but it was a really good conference. So I'm sorry, I know I keep sniffing. It's because the germs. I feel like I don't have a cold anymore, but obviously something is still going on. And then this morning I got up and I just could not give myself the will to podcast immediately. So I ate some breakfast, did some laundry, was laid on the couch for a while, and now I am podcast recording. So this is going to go up tonight probably. It'll be available by the time I go to bed. But it's been a crazy 2 weeks, and it's not going to slow down. But this time it's in a really good way, because on Thursday, my husband and I are flying to Vegas. We're flying to Vegas. So it's our 7-year anniversary, and we're just going to take a long weekend. So we're flying in Thursday night. So we'll have Friday, Saturday, and then he'll go home on Sunday. We are going, I honestly don't even know what we're doing, but I know we're going to see Cirque du Soleil, one of them. Don't ask me which one. I don't know the name of it. And we are possibly going to do a VR virtual reality like game experience. That would be super fun. And we're going to eat ourselves into a food coma, I guarantee you. And then he'll go home on Sunday because he has to work Monday. And I am going to stay and meet up with Claudia of the Crochet Luna podcast and 2 other people, and stay Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday. And then I'll be flying home on Wednesday next week. Next week. And then I'll be podcasting again on Friday. So the next week, 2 weeks is going to go by in the blink of an eye. Like, I will be sitting here in 2 weeks being like, I don't know where the time went. I don't know what happened, but I'm here talking to you again. And hopefully I'll have a lot of crochet to share with you, because it's kind of like a mini crochet vacation. Not the time that I'll have with my husband. Like, I guarantee you we're going to be just like out and about and looking at everything. So I don't think I'll have any time to crochet then. But when I'm with Claudia and the other ladies, I will definitely be working on some projects. I'm already trying to think, because I only have a tiny bag that I can take with me, what I can possibly take. Like, what will give me the most crochet. So I definitely want to take my designs and maybe like one other project, depending on how tightly I can smush them in. Because what I don't want to do is run out of yarn, which obviously has never been a problem in my life. I way overpack on yarn. Did I underpack on clothing? Yes. Do I overpack on yarn? Yes. So that's going to be really exciting. We are thinking about doing a meetup at Sin City Knits. I don't really have any more details on that. I know that they responded to Claudia. It'll be either a Monday or Tuesday. Not in 2 days, but the next week. So if I have more information, I'll put it out on Instagram, and I'll put it in the Ravelry group. So if you're in the Vegas area, I'd love to meet you. That would be pretty awesome. And, oh, there's one more thing I want to show you, because a very lovely package came in the mail from a viewer of this podcast named Nicole, and she sent along a prize for me to hold for our next crochet along, which hopefully will be in September. So she sent a DVD called Learn to Crochet Socks. So this is the Ron Strong. He actually has a video class, so you could win this video class on how to learn to crochet socks. And she is also going to include 2 balls of the Patons Croy socks in the colorway Brown Rose. And this is 75% wool, 25% nylon. You'll get 100 grams of it. And then right here is a little ice cream. It's like a Cadbury egg. Ice cream stitch marker. It's big, but it's really light. So this is all going to be a prize. I have this all set, and so for when our next crochet along occurs, this will be one of the prizes. So thank you so much, Nicole. I really appreciate you sending that. I'm very excited. Whoever wins that will be very happy. And then she also threw in a fixed circular knitting needle in the size 3.75 millimeters. This is Chalgu red lace, because she said she didn't have a use for them. So she hoped I could find a use for them. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm taking a break from crochet alongs at the moment because everything, as you can tell, is insane in my life. So basically, I just need a moment to come together, but we will have this giveaway. So go to the Ravelry group if you would like to be entered into win this leftover yarn. I will mail it to you. Go to the Ravelry group for that and answer the prompt, and I will draw a winner by next podcast. Also go to the Ravelry group to find out details of our meetup in St. Petersburg that will be on Saturday, August 18th or 19th, one of those days. I think it's the 18th, but it's definitely that Saturday. And where we are meeting, what time we are meeting, I can tell you we're meeting at noon. We will be there at this first place for like an hour maybe, and then we will go to Stash, a Place for Yarn, which is my local yarn store. So go to the Ravelry group for those details. If you have any old stitch dictionaries that are just collecting dust and you don't want them anymore and you won't miss them if they're gone from your life, send me an email to thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com, because I will happily give them some love. And I think that that's all I have to say. I know that it's actually been 52 minutes. I was going to say this is a short episode. It's not at all a short episode. So if you have stuck with me this long through the crazy getting over a cold, super tiredness that is happening right here, I love you. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Until then, I hope you have the most wonderful time, the most wonderful conclusion to your summer, that you have air conditioning and you can crochet or knit or just do something that brings you joy. And leave me a comment below. Tell me what you're working on. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Happy crafting. Bye.